I'm sitting here thinking that you guys are probably thinking, boy, that Rick guy sure drinks a lot of coffee. I do, but not as much as you guys think. I do love my coffee. I love the fact that you took the time to join us today. Thank you and welcome to my Friday segment that's going to be a Flashback Friday. It's a good one and a fun one. Our customer, my friend Greg in Thousand Oaks, California, collected some data to let you know how hot it actually gets in the back of your C8 Corvette. Before that video, just a real quick viewer mail segment. In fact, last Sunday's viewer mail, I was wearing this jacket. A lot of you did make some comments, send some messages. Sorry I didn't get back to everybody, but for those of you interested, said, hey Rick, where'd you get that Corvette winter jacket? I checked on ChevyMall.com. It's no longer available. Sorry about that. I do love this jacket. It's real fun. It's very warm, and on camera, off camera, at work, not at work, I'm always wearing something Corvette. Wherever you see me, you can see me at Costco, you can see me at the gas station, you can see me at the grocery store. I will be wearing something Corvette each and every day of the year. Call it what you will. All right, Greg, thanks for sending this. I don't know what it is. I have an inclination what it is. Greg is so cool. He goes, here, Rick, something to cheer you up. All right, let's read this note here real quick. He says, Rick, some of the Simi Valley Corvette Club members went to the Long Beach Grand Prix and they were able to get some posters signed by the Corvette race drivers. We sold some of these for a small donation and thought you would appreciate this and hopefully would have a place to display it somewhere in your office. Your friend, Just Ceramic Greg. Thank you, sir. Oh, yeah. I really need a Corvette, like, building. I don't even have a garage for my Corvette. Yeah, I can't even fit my own Corvette in the garage. That's fine. You know what? I'm driving it. Who cares? Just wait till the snow flies, man. Donuts are coming on the channel. Absolutely. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Simi Valley Corvette Club. Appreciate that. I ever sign that. And of course on the Rapid Blue side, because on this side, it's the orange convertible. Super cool. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. Now for today's upload. Man, we got a lot of activity for next week here on the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe and hit the bell notification. I don't want you to miss any of the send-offs for our Send-Off Pat Celebration Week. That will probably start Sunday on Coffee with Conti. If not, for sure, it starts on Monday and a video every day, every night next week, right through Thanksgiving. But right now, Flashback Friday segment, getting that data that I'm sure many of you thought about. How hot does it get back there? And even my spoof, my little commercial I wrote in regards to all that data that Greg collected for us. Hey, kids, you'll see that in today's upload. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoy it. Well, people see from the thumbnail me holding melting ice cream, and I'm hoping that's not where you got the idea to come up with this experiment and how hot it gets back there in that storage area by the engine bay. So where did you get the idea to do this? Because I got to give credit where credit is due. Today's show is thanks to your idea. I really appreciate having the opportunity to share this, but where did you come up with this, man?
It was basically we were my wife and I were taking the car. We were going to a park to meet with friends, and it really wasn't a very long trip. But when we got there, I went to take the chairs out of the car, and the metal on them was super hot. I'm thinking, man, I don't know if I want to put anything perishable or anything that's subject to, would be subject to heat in this thing.
Unless you were trying to cook something, I guess, but I mean...
Well, yeah.
Right. Oh, my gosh. Now, I'm going to show the folks the results of your data, which is a drive that you did over the weekend, and then the drive home where you did a little bit more spirited driving, and those results are just astonishing to me. Folks, hang on a second. You're going to love some of these graphs that Greg gave us, but what I'm looking at right now is what you used to gather the data. What is all those wires back there?
Yeah, so the device that I use is called a Fireboard. It's basically fireboard.com. I use it for when I smoke, briskets or anything. Yeah. And it's a very accurate probes that you can use for that. And you can do up to 6 probes, and then as you can see by the graphs, it data logs everything. So what I did, basically, I used 5 probes. I used one for the engine bay that I just wire tied to one of the cables for the magnetic ride, suspended on there. And then I used 2 on the upper part of the trunk, and then 2 on the lower part of the trunk to try and get what the variance was between the different areas within that space.
Yeah, that's really well thought out, and there was a lot of variance in those temps, but overall, like you said, it's just too hot to put any type of food in there for any length of time.
Yeah, I wouldn't put any food or medication or anything like that in there. Maybe just a quick trip to the store down the street kind of thing, maybe be okay. But other than that, no, absolutely not. Just like clothes and, golf clothes would be fine, or, chairs like I had in there would be fine. But, nothing that's perishable, like you were saying.
All right, well, that's really interesting. I'm going to show the folks now the rest of the data. Thanks again, Greg. Nice job as always. Hey, Greg, this is awesome and very intriguing. So let's take a closer look at the 2 trips that Greg took and the temperature variances along those trips. So here's my initial note that I got from Greg, and I think you're going to find the analysis extremely interesting. It all started off, he says, Rick, based on a recent trip, which I had some objects in the rear trunk of my C8, I found that they were extremely hot when I arrived home, so I decided to try a little experiment. This past weekend, we took a road trip, and I set the car up with 5 temperature probes with a data collection device by Fireboard. Now, the readings may or may not be 100% accurate, but you can certainly see the trend. My feeling is the temps aren't that far off, given that I checked them with an infrared thermometer before starting.
So we're getting ready to leave. The indoor temperature on here is the actual temperature that this thermometer is reading. The outdoor temperature is a probe that's in the frunk. And I'm going to take a couple of temperature readings on the probes just to verify. So this is the right probe. This is the left probe. This is the left lower probe. And that's the right lower probe.
All right, so let's look at part 1 of his test. This first day, approximately 185-mile drive, estimated 3 hours. Outside temperature when he left was 73 degrees. Relative humidity at 55%. So here's a chart from that first drive, and you can see from the chart that the maximum temperatures were not achieved until approximately 30 minutes into the drive, and then fell sharply approximately 30 minutes later, and then leveled off. Greg said, I can't think of why this happened other than some additional cooling kicked in on the C8 as the temperatures remained fairly consistent throughout the rest of the trip until we actually stopped where it shot back up again. Also, what is interesting is the temperature in the engine bay dropped below the temperatures recorded in the trunk area the majority of the trip. And here's another graph that Greg made for us showing you the average temperatures in each of those 5 probes that he'd set up. And his conclusions? Well, this was a casual drive on the freeway, not much pushing of the car. In fact, a good portion of this drive was with the cruise control on. The lower passenger probe measured over 100 degrees for a total of 30 minutes and temps in the 80s and the 90s for almost an hour. Similar reading on the other probes, which confirms my initial thoughts that it gets hot in that rear trunk. We all know that the engine bay is going to get hot, but what surprised me is that it peaked, dropped off, and then leveled off. I attribute this to the casual driving on this leg of the trip. So let's take a look at his drive home. And he said for this drive, we left late afternoon and the outside temperature was 87 degrees. Remember on his first trip, it was 73 outside. For this drive, we took a canyon drive from the coast and then down along the coast for a good portion of the drive. This drive was a much more spirited drive, and I believe the data in the chart below supports this. This drive had much higher temperatures and peaks as I was pushing the car, and I guess I should have expected this, but I was still surprised. However, the temperatures again here in the engine bay dropped sharply, indicating to me that some additional cooling was going on. Now look at this graph. This is the average of that second trip, and you can see here that the engine bay got as high as 153 degrees. Greg said, what I found interesting here is that the average in the lower passenger section was higher than the engine bay average. I'm not sure what's going on in that part of the trunk. My conclusions, as you can see, the max temps are higher here, which can be attributed to several things. Number one, the outside temperature was higher at the start of the drive. Number two, we've been driving around at different locations before starting the temperature recording for our drive back. And number three,
The drive was longer, and as I mentioned, more spirited driving through the canyons as opposed to a more straight freeway drive heading out. But I took your data and had a little fun with it.
Hey kids, your new Corvette is more than just a cool sports car, it's an awesome cooking machine. That's right, it gets so hot back there, you can make all the American favorites. Hamburgers, tacos, chicken. You can even roast marshmallows in the back of your Corvette. But leave the ice cream up front. Now check this out, kids. Get the batter, mix it up. Close your hatch, drive at 100 miles an hour for 3 minutes, and you can bake a cake. Little Susie's Easy Bake Oven has nothing on your C8 Corvette. What's the C stand for? Convection.
Hi, this is Greg and John from California,
and you're watching
Rick Conti's Corvette Vlogs.
Anybody want any of this before I do the thumbnail?
Go for it.
Sure. You hungry?
It's all ready.
I know. I gotta get it. Gotta do it like this. Gotta run down my arm, so. Do another one. And I'm trying to think of another pose. One more. Oh, hang on. Drop it. Just want to get that effect. Ice cold. One more. Okay. We're done. Nah. I can't stop the camera. Vanilla bean. It's on my pants. Dang it. Behind the scenes. The thumbnail is the key to get you guys to click and watch, although it can't tell the whole story of the entire video, but I think today's was effective, don't you? Thanks, guys. Well, hang on a second. I gotta get my camera. Hang on.
It's because it's still on fire.
Okay, go. Look back at me. Perfect.
He's like a little kid with his first pitch.
Oh, and a special thanks to our friend Chuck over there for cleanup on aisle 5. That was fun. I'm gonna put the cutter away before I cut myself. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I thought that was fascinating data. It was great to really truly know how hot it gets in the back of your C8 Corvette. And many of you have thought that. That's why I thought it was worthy of re-airing on today's Flashback Friday segment. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, there's coffee in here, and we're gonna see you right back here on Sunday for our Coffee with Conti show. And Corvettes, as always.